They're all looking quite good, apart from Manny, who's done his AC joint, which is the clavicle and scapular joint. But it's not a bad injury, but I can't see him being right for this week. Alex Rodriguez is looking good, though, to come back into the squad. Can't think of any other injuries. Even young Matt Redenton's back into it. There's a lot of life about the place, so everyone wants to make themselves available, I guess.
So with Manny out, would that suggest Louis a left back again?
It could mean that, but I won't give anything away. But Doyley's looking good as well, so we've got cover.
So Burns comes back in as well?
Burns will be straight back in. He's trained very well today. Very well today.
What's the mood been like this week? Obviously, you mentioned after the game the other night, a few of the players had bleeding noses sort of thing.
Yes.
What's it been like the last few days?
There's no doubt that the confidence is high, which boosts morale, which means training sessions are very vocal and loud, and the sunshine is out, so this run-in is a crucial period. It's critical to get a good atmosphere in the training camp, because now the tough job is staying where we are and trying to hang on to this lead. We've got the players. It really comes down to confidence and taking our chances, and it all starts here in the training ground, so the training ground's been terrific.
What's been the general chat, Ernie, about being top of the table?
The chat's more coming from people outside of the squad, because we've tried to make sure everyone keeps their feet on the ground, and it's all about process and what we do on the field and what we can control. There's a lot of chat off the field about where we are and what chances we've got, and that's great, and that's what the media does, and that's what our fans do, and it's exciting. But our players are pretty well feet on the ground, make sure you do your job type thing.
A few records have already been broken this season. Another chance to break one this weekend, having never won in Brisbane. Are those records talked about at all on the squad? No,
the boys don't talk about records, because it's a different team. It's a different stage of where we're at, and they just really do want to play their best football. And I asked the boys to have a chat amongst themselves without any coaches prior to the Perth game, whilst we were in camp for a couple of days, and that was organised by Captain Andrew Durante and the leadership squad, and they talked about what sort of commitment, application they've got to have to do well over in Perth. And it was a really tough game, and they did well and they got through it. So the players are taking a lot of ownership and responsibility on themselves. I don't really know what happened in the second half against Perth, because it was 1 o'clock in the morning and I fell asleep on the bench, and when I woke up we won. So the boys obviously did a good job.
And Roy Krishna, he obviously looked pretty good in the game. He just keeps getting better this year. Just going to talk us a bit through his play lately. Well,
from day one, which started 21 months ago for me, I asked Chris to really take control of scoring goals and shooting sessions, and we've done that every single session. So whilst I ran an 8v8 coach game here, which was intense, you'll notice Chris was up the back doing a lot of work on goal scoring and shooting and taking opportunities and getting into the right areas, and I think that's beginning to pay off.
He's pretty cool under pressure too, isn't
he? Roy was terrific under pressure, without Burnsy in the team to score another 2 goals away from home, and I thought Griffiths played really well, but he hadn't played a full game for a long while, so as I say, under that intense humidity and away from home, and after that flight at 1 o'clock in the morning, boys did a great job.
Given, Ernie, this is sort of new ground for the team, for the players, is there anything you need to sort of keep an eye on though, as coach?
Very much so. Point 1 is keep your feet on the ground, lads. We haven't won anything. Point 2 is don't change anything. Keep the training intensity up, keep playing the way you're playing, see if you can get better at it. Don't think that you've reached your limit. We can get better and better, and those are the 2 main things. You know, a calmness about where we're at and what we're doing, and knowing we're going to be under the pump, and the best way to deal with that is to prepare for it and play and train very intensely.
And Brisbane this week, just thoughts on them?
A good team doing well. They've come good at this time of the year. They've got most of their players back. Again, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be stormy. We look ahead at the forecast, and it looks like it's going to be extremely humid, but we have to dig deep in those situations and make no excuses about travelling away from home. We've won 12 games, 6 of them at home, 6 away. Don't change anything.
No training in tracksuits this week?
No, we're at a stage now where it's the sessions are very intense. They're always playing roughly in their position, and the work rate is high, but the volume of work is low. So they're doing, each player has played 4 8-9 minute games, and it'll finish early now. From the sound of things, it's already finished, and we're not too worried about fitness levels now. It's just really about staying sharp.
Rolly's put club over country. I guess a nice boost to you guys with the international break coming up and a few players leaving.
He's never played for Curaçao. I mean, he was born and grew up in Amsterdam, so he's played for Holland at under 17, under 21 and Olympic level. And he hasn't decided whether he's going to switch or not, but to play on a once-off for a country at this stage, at the very beginning of a campaign to qualify for a World Cup, he at the moment he's going to play and represent our squad, the Phoenix, and hopefully get in the finals and do well in the finals. So he's prioritised his future.
Ernie, can you just run us through how many guys you do lose for that game against Sydney?
I'm not sure at this stage. I'd rather answer that question next week when I see what our suspensions or injuries are like, as well as our players going off to play for the All Whites, the Socceroos, and I don't think there's been a call-up for Fiji, so it will be those two. We'll definitely lose Burns, but I'm not sure if the squad for the All Whites has been finalised yet.
And Muscat just only out 1 week, you think?
I'd say it's only a 1 week type injury. If he was a rugby player, of course, he'd be back in this week. Manny's tough, but he's a bit more skilled, and I think I'm not making excuses for him. He played on through the injury. I don't know if you've done one of those shoulders, but it's a very painful injury, so he'll only be out for 1 week.
Just on the All Whites there, you suggested is there some negotiations about maybe...
No, not at all. There's no negotiation. Whoever the national coach requires will be released. There's not any negotiations, and I think Anthony Hudson has been predominantly looking at younger players. There's just a couple I don't think he's finalised yet, depending on who's available from overseas. But whoever is required from the All Whites, we will always release our players at any level, Olympic, under 20, 17s or seniors.
Just finally, there's been a bit of chatter across the Tasman about the value that the Phoenix provide, or lack thereof, which seems funny timing when you're top of the table. Have you been aware of that, and what's your reaction to it?
I'm not going to buy into the argument, other than I know the FFA are very happy with our football where we're at. Teams respect us. We're competing well. We're a well-liked team over in Australia, and we're pulling in big crowds over there as well. I think the argument really comes down to a commercial one about television rights. It's really got nothing to do with the club itself, or the way we're playing, and certainly nothing to do with the team.